day, everyone, and to our beloved audience. Welcome to our podcast, AI Naku. And on this episode, we're going to be tackling the idea of AI in the Philippines with correlation to SDG 9. But before we do that, let me introduce to you my co host, as per usual, Seth Vermeil, and our guest speakers for today. Kindly wave to the camera, guys, and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Zane Zavalios. I am one of the guest speakers for today.
And then Ash, kindly introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ashnawi Pakal. I'm one of the guest speaker today.
And finally, we have Jonah.
Hi everyone, my name is Janalyn Ayarada and I'm one of the guest speaker for today.
Alright, now that we know everyone, let's now get settled and start. So, as we all know, AI has been pretty prevalent lately and it has been starting a buzz over the course of the recent years, especially in the present where it actually functions like pretty much everywhere and it really aids us as human beings from our everyday life to healthcare to internet or pretty much like basic services where we ask assistance over the internet and pretty much stuff like that. And in the Philippines, although we know that we are a developing country, we also want to keep up, you know. I mean, recently there was this issue actually in GMA where they used AI sportscasters to generate their news, and it has started a buzz and an issue within the country. And people are asking whether it is necessary because to some, they have a fear and apprehension towards AI, especially with their jobs, and they think that they'd be replaced by it. Actually, as my I have a co-host right now that's actually a Mindanaoan, and I heard that Mindanaoans also have a share of their opinions regarding this issue. Seth, what do you think?
Yes. For example, the use of the AI from the GMA, I think they just wanted to test it for efficiency and productivity, but from the people's view, they saw it like negative since it would take out the human workforce and lead their jobs to end. Like they wouldn't have jobs anymore, and I think they're scared of that, and they don't view it positively like we do.
Yes, that's actually a real thing as of the moment. And although we all have our opinions to share, I think it's best that we ask our experts and our guest speakers what they actually think about AI. And in correlation to the SDG 9 and how it relates to AI in our society as of today, we're going to be asking our guest speaker, Zane, and also her fellow guest speakers for today.
Okay, so AI is actually, well, let's define what AI is first. So AI is any computer system or systems that are able to process things the way that humans do, where historically they weren't able to do that before. So, take for example, so essentially AI is an umbrella term for many different technologies. We have deep learning technology, we have machine learning, and natural language processing. Now, what we're going to be delving in today is machine learning technology within AI. Now, in relation to SDG 9, SDG 9 has industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And as Ash will explain, AI is also involved in the innovation fraction of SDG 9.
Yes, of course we all know that. And right now I'm going to be asking Ash what he thinks about Zane's response and to ask him how can people really benefit from AI in general? So we could also enlighten our audience that AI isn't just something that could be a replacement to humans, but also something that could integrate us and to also aid us in our everyday lives. How could we use AI in that sense, Ash?
I totally agree with what Zane said. I think that AI is not replacing humanity at all, but it is to aid the progress of our economic growth. And I think that technology, AI, artificial intelligence, would really be a great help for our economic growth. And I think that AI, people think that AI, people's perception of AI is really negative. I think because, of course, they have, they worry about AI replacing their job, but I think that they don't see it. They don't see the potential that AI can help our economy in terms of innovation, in terms into our infrastructure. AI can really be a great help into that, because if you look at Philippines is already left with advanced technology unlike other countries. So if people learn to accept and to look at the positive side of AI, they would realize how it would really benefit us humans and also our economy. So I don't see any problem with using AI as long as we use it responsibly, and we use it with our knowledge. We use our knowledge to it properly.
Yes. Don't you agree with that? Or my co host Seth, do you agree with what Asha said earlier?
Yes, yes, of course. I think AI can generally just increase or improve the accessibility of everyday life, especially for people with disabilities, like speech to text and text to speech mainly.
Yes, yes, that's right. And I have like another question. This is regards to the education sector where everyone would really relate to. Do you think that, I mean, rather, okay, guys, this could be answered by any of our guest speakers today. Um, very recently, people, especially people within the education sector, has sought to see AI as something that could be of danger, especially with education, because with recent rise of OpenAI or ChatGPT, where students would just use it as a way to cheat or to use it as an easier method for them, is there a way that students or anyone in the education sector could use AI responsibly or use it in an ethical way where AI could be used to help rather than people to see it as a form of danger or people would have apprehension towards it? What do you guys think about this certain issue in the education sector right now? I think Zane has an answer for this. Zane, what do you think?
I think it really depends on how much you rely on AI in education because there are parts where like some people aren't that great at brainstorming. I myself an example of one. So the way I use AI often is just asking them like the basic ideas that I can get from them or just quick searches on like synonyms, antonyms and the exact word for a term that you have forgotten. I think that's really helpful from generative AI. For students, yeah, it really just depends if because if you start relying on it to solve everything, then you kind of lose the factor of actually learning anything. But teachers also have to encourage that we embrace AI, just that they should also teach us like what is considered a moderated use of AI, because the more that you restrict something, the more that someone may be inclined to use it.
Yes, that's actually a good thought, Zane. And although we are speaking for the Philippine context only, I think we also need to take a step back and ask how the global context has influenced and paved the way for AI to actually be really prevalent in the Philippines. And I think we need to step back and ask how, in the global context, is AI also useful? And that would be answered by Ash as of now. Yes, Ash?
So I think currently AI has become a vital part of our virtual world. So AI plays an important role and in general education, also in higher education. For example, the efficient uses of filtering emails, advertising, YouTube, and virtual assistant such as Google Digital Libraries, Google Scholar, and other digital research engines in any higher institution worldwide. However, AI is weak. In other words, AI is fragile when it is only limited to small, restricted, and structured tasks such as collecting data. So, research shows that AI is sharp when performing most or all cognitive tasks are typically human. Although AI plays a vital role currently, also considered AI a threat to human civilization and support their argument with the experts in the field think about. So I think that AI can be weak when every time it is only restricted and it cannot explore. But AI can be strong when you don't put a limit to it. And also, most important is we use AI responsibly because artificial intelligence can be found everywhere right now, and it's also still evolving up until now in this generation.
Yes, and as of that, I'd also like to ask that yes, AI is very prevalent, especially in this generation. But I'd also want to ask for our audience to have a deeper understanding. What is I mean, rather, who are the target audience for this issue, and who are the most affected audience by this? I'd like to ask Jonalyn about this issue. Like, who are our target audience for this?
So our target audience for this is the policymaker and regulators, the general public. I think that AI needs to share with everyone so they can understand what really the benefits of AI. Each of us needs to know the deeper meaning between AI and how the advancements of it affects us people and help our society or economic growth. It depends on people how they use AI as a tool for the improvement or beneficial to their studies. This target audience would really help AI to be known.
Yes, that's
Yeah, I'd
really
actually
true.
like to add, sorry, but I'd like to add to Ash and Jonalyn's part because I do agree that AI just needs a wider scope because one of the problems with AI we're currently experiencing is that uh some sources of AI or the data set that AI is presented with since they are mostly machine learning supported can tend to be biased. This shows up a lot in stuff like facial recognition or translations. So I think the more data that it is presented with, the better that it can actually, sample our whole global community.
Yes, I really love your input, Jonalyn and Zane. It's actually true because a lot would think that although AI is part of the newer generation, it also just targets the younger audience and pretty much the new generation. But what we fail to notice is that it actually targets everyone, the general public, not just us, not just our age group, but also everyone. Because as we progress in modernization and globalization, we also want to take the idea that it really affects everyone. Even I, as your co host, and my co host, Seth Vermeil, don't you agree, Seth?
Yes. I think AI just helps us to like be more productive and have a broader scope of some ideas, especially if you like what Zane said when you ask AI to generate ideas. I think it just adds more to your knowledge per se.
Okay, now that everyone is done talking or saying pretty much their inputs about AI, let's talk about some personal experiences so everyone in the audience could relate to this. So, we're going to be doing an icebreaker. Never have I ever. Just just briefly talk about your experiences, guys, with the questions that I'm about to ask. So, are we ready? Give me a thumbs up if you guys are ready. All right. Okay. So, the first question is, never have I ever tried using open AI apps like ChatGPT.
I have.
You
I'm
have?
an expert.
What
I
Ash and
have. I have.
I think we all
I
have.
have.
yes.
Yeah.
Is it for like like just for aid, or like you guys use it to like, you know, procrastinate or something like that?
In my
I think both.
experience, I use
What? How about you,
AI.
Jonah?
I think I use AI as a guidance to my studies and also to give me more idea what I put in my task, or give me an idea in one of the question in the courseware tile so that I can proceed to the next.
Okay. All right. Very honest. Next question, guys. Have you ever tried using an AI generated chat box or person to like talk to? No.
No, not yet.
No.
No. Okay, for the next question, never have I ever saw AI in a negative light.
Okay, I have.
Why? Why do you
I
think
think
so?
the first time I heard of AI that was like branded as AI was really ChatGPT, and of course, the way that other people used it was let's use this to answer all my stuff or use this instead of learning something. And so of course I saw it as if you use ChatGPT to like write an essay, you didn't have as much a skill as a person who actually worked on their part of the essay. But I see it now as, I guess if you did it like that, then it would be a negative way. But if you were just using it to help you, then I can see why you wouldn't be allowed to use ChatGPT.
All right, we're done with our icebreaker and never have I ever segment. And although we want to share more about this, I think we have already run out of time, and I think it's time for us to conclude this podcast. And thank you so much to our guest speakers who have, you know, tried their best to share their input in a general sense, in a very personal sense as well, where we all had our fair shares of, you know, being fascinated and pretty much laughing about our own individual experiences about AI. So, as to conclude this podcast, I'd like to ask our guest speakers to share their concluding sentiments about our podcast for today.
In SDG 9, innovation, which is where industry belongs, where AI belongs, and industry and infrastructure are all really the foundations of where our society relies on. And so when something as new as AI, which could be our new foundation for the next step to technology, as Bill Gates has mentioned it, we really need to take advantage that it is still growing. We can still affect it, even if we are just students, if we are just the public. We can call for our governments to start regulating AI so it doesn't get out of hand, and we can also keep watch of companies, see if they're actually putting ethical practices so that AI can also prioritize the human self.
So, to wrap up today's podcast, we hope this discussion answered some of your questions about AI. Let's just remember it's all about finding the right balance and embracing technology with responsibility. In this episode of AI Nako, tackling the idea of AI in the Philippines of SDG 9, thank you for staying with us all the way.